There's nothing more rewarding as a father to have children that love and honor us. Got 3 daughters. The oldest is named Trinae, the middle is Kenturah, and the youngest is Tricelle.
When they were younger, they probably give us a card, and now that they're grown up, Kenturah, which is our middle daughter and the artist, she never buys a commercial card. She always writes a note and tell us how special we are. The other 2 normally do the shopping for the card, and I always kept their cards because so I could be reminded of what they thought of me at the time. Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned those notes that Kenturah wrote. I was keeping a collection of those, and unfortunately I don't have those anymore, but always a personal note. But she wasn't a child when she did this special thing. It's about at least 10 years ago, so she was early 20s probably. She did they have the Sidewalk Festival, the Chalk Festival at the Paseo every year in Pasadena. And she invited me to come down and help her work on that. And so I'm working on it, and I'm saying, well, what is this image? I mean, what are we trying to create here? She said, Dad, just keep following my instructions. Put this color here, put that color there. And so right at the end of it, she put the words Happy Father's Day on there. And it was a phrase, an African phrase that recognized fathers. And she had the African word there, and under it in English, she had Happy Father's Day. So in a way, I helped create my own Father's Day present. Mm-hmm. That was really something special and unique that she did. So she's always, all the girls have their special ways of showing their love and their honor for us.
One of the most important memories, which covers a lot of memories, is just a family coming over and sitting down at the dining room table and having a snack or whatever. Another memory that I have is my wife in her sewing room, Peggy in her sewing room, just making some beautiful quilts. She gave a lot of them away. She's a giver, so she gave a lot of those away, a lot of them to hospitals where women had given birth to children who had some defect or something like that. So she gave a lot of that stuff away. That was where my little studio was, right there. And even though I'm a plein air painter, I paint mostly outdoors. I did do a lot of creative work here. When I wasn't outdoors, I was back here doing pastels or working on the computer for different projects. But these are the memories I have. They're good memories. And even standing here now, I had a moment of a sadness, but practically from the time I saw it and painted it, because I painted it right after the fire, after that, all the sadness went away. Regret, yeah, that's still here. But I'm anticipating building, bringing all of the joy back to this place. And we've been praying over this for quite a while. And I know that the land is prepared for us. So we're going to come back and rebuild.
Peggy and I decided to go to be with our oldest daughter, Trinae. And so that's where we ended up staying for at least a month, probably longer.
So during my parents stayed with us, they had offered to pay us rent, and we told them absolutely not, because of the fact, they've raised us and they taught us to be the women that we are today. So it's like there's no way I was gonna, tell my parents to pay us rent for, it's like we were glad we were in a position, my husband and I, Aaron, and we're glad we're in a position to do that for our family.
And enjoyed the stay there with them. But because of all the resource centers being in Pasadena, the challenge was going back and forth because it was over 80 miles one way to drive. She was able to get a 3-month leave from her job, so she rented a car and she was like Uber, what's the other, Lyft, and chauffeur, and she took my daughter everywhere that she needed to go to relieve her from having to drive to different places. And she also helped set up a fundraiser that Kenturah decided to do, and she's just been instrumental in helping us every step of the way.
Yeah, Tricella's a planner, an organizer.
Right.
She came in, and even though Dad didn't follow that schedule real close, but she had a schedule laid out for us. I mean, a written schedule, so we didn't have to think about it.
Daily schedule.
So these are the sort of things like, it just takes the stress off of you to know that someone's planning every move that you need to make if you have to. And she understands, okay, Dad, this is not something you have to follow. It's not the letter of the law. But I'm trying to help you focus on some things that need to get done and some things that you can put off till later. And having that sort of help has really been a blessing because right after the fire, there was just so many things going through your mind. You got to do this, you have to do that. And sometimes a person like with her, she could look at it from the outside and say, no, you don't really have to do this and that right now. These are the most important things. And one of the most important things is take care of yourself. So she kind of arranged things so we could do that.
I had probably 20 finished quilts that were lost in the fire, and probably 20 more that weren't complete yet, and thousands of dollars worth of fabric and ideas of making other quilts. And when the Kenturah decided to do the fundraiser, it caught me by surprise because I'm like, she's dealing with so much. She's dealing with a young child, not realizing everything that has happened, and she has to be there to comfort him. And she was still working on some artwork for commissioned artwork, and she took the time out to set up a fundraiser for her mom's quilt. I'm like, how can you think of that when you have so much else to be concerned about? And
but it's in Isaiah where God tells Israel that he's going to restore their beauty for ashes. And so when I told my dad that, he said he was going to make that his theme for his new series.
And so it's been pretty well known that Altadena is a place that has nurtured Black art. So we are showing at the Cam Museum, California African American Museum.
I was like, my goodness, it's 3 generations. I only thought it was going to be Kenturah and Keni. And I was so excited because, oh wow, father and daughter exhibiting together, how wonderful. And then she said, oh, your quilts are going in too. And then when we saw the Instagram, that's when we knew that Michael's was going in also. And it brings chills to you and then to see it, it's emotional. Yeah. Been doing
this since I was a young child, and so I live in Altadena, and a lot of the places that were destroyed in the fire are places I painted many times over the years, actually over the decades. So I'm just coming back to recapture and reimagine what was here before and what I hope it will be. The thing that I would like people to remember and to be encouraged with is that regardless of what's going on, we have a Heavenly Father. And I think one of the most important things we can do, and I'll use my children as an example here. My children have honored their father, their earthly father. And I think if we spend our lives trying to honor our Heavenly Father, then when tragedies like this hit, then we are in a better place to deal with it and in a better place to eventually recover from it. But regardless of where we are in life, where we are in the world, what natural disaster may befall us, there's always a Heavenly Father to guide us and to be there with us. I've tried to model that in my life. Of course, I haven't been perfect at it. But having had a relationship with my Heavenly Father, I have something or a model that I can use to help my children. And because I've used that model, they have been able to come along and help their own natural father with it. But I'm encouraged because I know the Lord is going to take care of me. And going back to honor, my children have been an example of that, and I'm so grateful to them for what they've done.